Today I'm going to show you how to install an interior double door. I'm Ron Paulk, and this is the Smart Wood Shop. This is the Paulk Smart Bench and the Paulk Smart Station. I want to get a detailed set of plans to build a Smart Wood Shop, one of my workbenches, or any of the accessories that work with the system. And that's right, it is a complete and total system. Then there is a link in the description of this video down below. I just grabbed this, and it doesn't really matter what length it is. If you're doing a lot, you want to do a nice even number that you could do the math off of. But you'll see here, it doesn't really matter what length the board is. I'll put it on either side of the door, doesn't really matter. Make a mark. I can measure that, or I can just take the board that I used on the other side and put a second mark on. And again, I have no idea what height it is. It's only the difference between the two and whether the mark with the level is higher or lower. So I make sure I know which is the level mark. And in this case, the level is higher, which means this side is higher up than that side, which means this side has to be cut down the difference between these two marks. This would have been hung at an earlier time, and again, I could have gotten it in there. There would have been no bed in the way. I could have laid it down on the floor right in front, did my measurements, picked the side that needed to be cut, lifted up, just looking right down. A lot easier. I have this double closet door in place and close. There's only 4 nails holding this door in. I call it air nailing. No shims, no screws, nothing locking me in. I have a nail in the top, just up near the top, a couple inches down on both sides. I kick the bottom into place, holding the jamb flush to the drywall, and dropped a nail in about 4 or 5 inches off the floor. Then I started working it with a pry bar. And then I know when I start to shim things in and I pay attention to getting my reveals right. And you know, what I'm looking for is I want this reveal across the top to be even on all. I want the 2 doors to be, these points to be exactly with each other. So this was just slightly low, which makes it look like this reveal is taller, but actually it's a little bit taller, but it's mostly this door's got to kick up just a little bit. And then I'll want this reveal here to be even all the way down. And then I want these reveals from top to bottom to be the same. And both of them are pretty good already. These reveals here get thrown off by the jamb being turned or twisted in the opening. I've talked to a lot of finished carpenters over the years that have worked for me and had experience coming onto the job. They said doors aren't hung very good. It's the problem with the manufacturer. They've got it so the reveal's tight on the hinge side and open on the jamb side, with the single doors just to be the jamb side. That's not the case. It is just the matter of when the installer puts it in the hinge side, just having it turned a little bit will open or close this reveal on the hinge side. Now I'm at the point where I'm going to start putting in a few shims. And I start by looking at my problem areas. And you know, I know I'm going to shim at each set of hinges. This door is a little bit lower than this door. So either I've got to pull this one back or push this one over so it drops, or a little bit of both. I'll just check plumb on both of these again. This reveal is pretty even. It's a little tighter at the top, but once I clear that up, it'll be even. But I want to see if I can tighten it up a little bit. When I start shimming these, I can bring that together just a little bit more so it's clean, and I'll get it so that all 3 vertical reveals will be very, very close. All the vertical reveals are good. This one humps a little bit in the top, but that's just going to come when I bring this down. It's kind of even, and it's just because it's bulging up a little bit. I don't have any nails or shims there. I have a pair of shims in the top here and a pair of shims in the bottom, and they're not nailed, so I can still adjust them. So you can see I have not locked the door in. I added 2 more nails up in this top section because I wanted to twist the jambs a little bit and work a little bit more. So I'm up to 6 nails, but none of the shims are nailed. So again, I'm there. The door is functional. The reveals are all good. And so now it's a matter of me just putting in shims that just touch, maybe push just a little bit and then nail through those, because when I nail, it'll pull them back a little bit. So the more you do this, the easier it is and the more intuitive it is. I haven't forced anything. I've lightly adjusted, made sure that everything that I'm concerned about, the reveals, the plumb of both doors, and I'm measuring plumb out here on the edge, not on the hinges. Whatever plumb, out of plumb I am, will be really amplified out here, way more than on the hinges, so I can really see how plumb the doors are. Now I'm going to start locking things in. The other thing I'm concerned about, in addition to the reveals, plumb, all of those things, make sure the doors are going to open and close properly, is that the doors from top to bottom are flush. If the door jamb is installed so it's out a little bit, whichever one is kicked out is going to kick the bottom of the door or the top out, depending. So you need to get it so that, again, the doors are flush, touching each other when they're closed, top to bottom. And if it's a single door, it's against the jamb and it's not hitting on the top or the bottom before it just hits evenly all the way through. So these are even, and again, it would be a matter of kicking the bottom of either side in or out, or the top of either side in or out. And it can be slight adjustments on all 4 corners to bring them in perfect. You don't have to really, if it's way off, sometimes it's just a matter of a little bit on each corner and you bring them right in, and you still are going to be nice and flush with your drywall, which is important as well, because your trim is going to go on the jamb and on the drywall. And if it's sticking way out or way in, then you have to deal with that trim. So again, I'm feeling really good. Both of these shims are nailed in. I am looking really good with my reveals, all 3. So I'm good to go just to put in the rest of my shims and nail them off. And I'm making sure that the shims, they're wedges, so when they're going in, that I'm not creating a gap on one side or the other. If I push one wedge in further than the other, then when I nail them back, it'll again twist that jamb, which will start to make this reveal not look good. The final step is to put a long screw into the middle hole on the top hinge of each door. This is a longer screw, about 2.5 inches, so it'll go through the jamb and into the trim stud, and that'll just help the door stay in place. But again, I'm not pulling the door, I'm not adjusting the door with this, I'm just gonna seat it right into the hinge. The reveals are perfect, all across the top and down both sides, and the door is even all the way down. That's it, all done. I still have to trim it and put the knobs on and paint it, of course, but the hanging part is done. It really is not that difficult. I don't think it takes any longer or is any more difficult to hang a double door as it is to hang a single door. If you've learned anything, if you've enjoyed this video, if you'd like to see me make more, then be sure to give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and ring the bell so you'll know every time I put up a new video. Thanks for dropping into the Smart Wood Shop. You stay safe and have a great day.